Hello and welcome to the Acca Backer, the brand new series here on the Racing Post that brings together our expert tipsters to hopefully find you some winners this weekend. I've got a lovely London skyline behind me, well, behind them anyway, and I've got my lovely Racing Post colleagues beside me, Liam Flynn and Dan Childs. Right, let's get straight into it, gents. We're about a month into the season now. It's been a fascinating opening few weeks. A bit of form to go off now. So Liam, let's get your first tip in.
Yeah, first tip, I'm going to go with the Premier League, and I'm going to go Leicester to beat Bournemouth. I think that the Foxes have got the makings of a top six side this season, I really do. I think the edge they're going to have over the likes of Wolves and Everton sort of going forwards later in the season is they look really comfortable in possession now. They've evolved from that sort of counter-attacking unit that they used to be, and I think that's a large part down to the midfielders likes of Yuri Tillman, James Maddison, both been terrific. They won away to Sheffield United last time out, taking good points off Wolves and Chelsea. And Bournemouth, you know, they got the win at Aston Villa in their last away game, but they were thoroughly outplayed in that game. I mean, they lost a shot count 22-12, only had 37% possession, and I think they're worth opposing. They actually they lost 13 of their 19 away league games last term. So yeah, my first bet would be Leicester to beat Bournemouth.
And how important is that partnership between James Maddison and Jamie Vardy for their chances of success this season?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, in the whole sort of group of Leicester forwards, they've just looked terrific. They click really well. And as I say, I don't think you can underestimate how important Yuri Tillman is in behind them as well.
Brilliant. So Leicester, the first team in our Acca Backer. Dan, let's get your first tip in, mate.
I'm going to go into the Championship, and I'm going to go for Reading to win at home to Charlton. Charlton have had a very good start at the moment, got 11 points from 15 games. Sorry, 11 points out of 15 points. But I think they're a newly promoted side. I'm not so sure Lee Bowyer is going to expect them to be operating near the top of the table come the end of the season. I think they'll still be maybe even struggling to stay up by the end of the season. Their shot count in the last game, when they scraped a 1-0 win against Brentford, they lost the shot count 21-3. So, you know, it's early days yet to be starting to talk about Charlton as playoffs or anything like that. Reading, at the start of the season, I'm thinking that they could struggle, but they've done a lot of good business towards the end of the transfer window. George Puskás has come in for about £8 million from Inter, has had a great start to the season for them. Got some good loanees as well. Matt Miazga from Chelsea, who was on loan there last season. Ovie Ejaria, who was on loan from Liverpool last season. He started the season well as for Reading, and their form, they've had some tough fixtures. You look at some of their results, they've got a 1-1 draw at West Brom when they were winning right until near the end there. Also beat Cardiff 3-0 at home and won 2-0 away to Huddersfield, so they're doing a lot better than many expected. I think they're going to carry on their good form here and beat Charlton.
Are you surprised to see them start the season so well? Because I think looking at the past few seasons, I expected them to be down in the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they only just escaped the drop last season. To be honest, coming towards the end of the transfer window, you're looking at their squad and you're thinking they're going to struggle again. They did a lot of their business very, very late on, and they seem to wait for a lot of the good loanees to become available, and then made this big splash out on Puskás, and it's raised them from a team that I would have said would be struggling towards the bottom. Now, I would say they're looking at top half.
Brilliant. Two solid picks so far. Liam, what's your second tip, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Championship. I'm going to go Bristol City to beat Middlesbrough. I think Bristol City, they're definitely a team worth keeping an eye on in the race for promotion. They were up there last season. And they started the campaign with a very difficult home match, arguably the hardest home match I have all season against Leeds. But they followed that up with successive wins against QPR, Derby and Hull. And I just think they're going to have way too much for Middlesbrough going forwards, whose performances, Middlesbrough's performances have been pretty poor so far this season. They've taken 5 points from their 5 games. And their one win, which came against Wigan, I actually watched that game in detail, and I just thought that there was severe lack of creativity going forwards from Middlesbrough. Wigan had opportunities in that first 20 minutes before Middlesbrough got the opening goal. It was Wigan's for the taking ultimately, and Middlesbrough's only goal threat, only exciting player going forward to me was Britt Sombalonga. So beyond him, I don't think they have a lot, and that's going to be exposed by better teams like Bristol City. So yeah, I think the Robins to win this one, Bristol City to beat Middlesbrough.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Middlesbrough always are one of the favourite teams to gain promotion, yet always seem to struggle. What is their downfall this season? Yeah,
I mean, this season I think the biggest problem is trying to transition from what was a very defensive style under Tony Pulis. I think Woodgate has got good ideas. He wants them to play more progressive football. but they simply don't have the players to do that at the moment. They're the midfield three that played against that Wigan team. They were just lacking a playmaker who really can make that defence cut-in pass, and they just look really short of ideas. So I think Bristol City look like a good bet in this game. Brilliant.
Bristol City go in the accumulator. Dan, second pick from you.
I'm going to drop down to League One now, and Ipswich, who were relegated last season, you need to make a good start when you're a relegated club. They've now hit the top of the league. The last game they won 5-0 at Bolton. You can't read too much into that because we all know about the problems that Bolton have had having to play so many youngsters. But still, to take 11 points from 15 at the moment is a great start for them. And you've got the likes of Norwood, who they brought in up front, so is going to add a goal threat for them. Caden Jackson's more at home in a lower division as well, and they've got some good young players as well. Ipswich, Wolfenden, the centre back, I've been impressed with in particular. And they're against Shrewsbury. Now Shrewsbury are 9th, which is a pretty solid start for them. But I look at Shrewsbury's goal threat, and there isn't a great deal there. They drew 0-0 at home to Burton in their last game. Burton were actually missing quite a few of their better players, Nathan Broadhead in particular, on loan from Everton in that game. Shrewsbury overall have only scored 4 goals. Ipswich are the top scorers in the division with 11. I just think they're going to have too much firepower for Shrewsbury, and they should. Looking at the prices at home, Portman Road at the moment, the atmosphere there is building already. I think around about a shade of odds on or even money. Great bet for Ipswich.
And that was key, wasn't it, their good start to the season? Because I feel like Paul Lambert was starting to lose a few of the fans last campaign. Yeah. Top of the table, it's huge. If Portman Road gets going, it's a tough place to go.
And you can understand as well. Last season was just an absolute disaster for Ipswich. So few times that they had an opportunity to celebrate a victory, and you just need a good start the following season to get everybody up and enthusiastic again.
League One table toppers Ipswich go into the accumulator. Liam, final pick from you. Make it count.
Yeah, dropping down the divisions, I'm going to go for Swindon to beat Morecambe. Swindon had some very good early season form, which has taken a bit of a hit after they failed to beat Exeter, Northampton and Cheltenham. But I think Morecambe represent what is a probably perfect opportunity for them to get back on track. The Shrimps, they're very settled under Jim Bentley. He's been there a long time now. But this doesn't sound particularly nice, but they have a sort of a cockroach feel about them. It feels like they just won't go down, and that's to be admired. And in the long term, I do think they'll stay up. But I think they'll be quite low on confidence. They conceded a late goal to lose to Exeter, and they lost 4-0 to Burton in the League Cup as well. So I think they're a bit low on confidence. Also for Swindon, I like the look of Owen Doyle on loan from Bradford, I believe. The striker looks like an excellent loan addition for them. He scored a brace away to Cheltenham last time out, and I think he could cause Morecambe's creaky defence some issues.
Another home pick from you, Liam. Dan, 6th and final pick to go into this accumulator. Who is it?
I'm going to go for my first away pick here, and it's up to the Premier League. Manchester United to win at Southampton. I think with Man United, a lot of the time, everybody overreacts to every result. They beat Chelsea at home 4-0 on the first day, and the supporters say, "Oh, fantastic! It's everything's going to be all right again. Last season was just a blip." Then they draw against Wolves 1-1. People are starting to reverse their expectations a bit, and they lose to Palace 2-1. And people are thinking, "Oh God, here we go. We're going to be 6 or even struggle to do that this season." I think you've got to take a bit of a middle view. I look at the side. Losing Lukaku, when you're playing games at home, you're going to lack that physical presence when teams sit in, and that's going to be a blow losing him. I think away from home, the way they're playing now with the pace of Dan James, Anthony Martial, Rashford, I think they're actually set up to be a very good counter-attacking team this season, and that's going to help them in away games. You look at Southampton, when they played at home to Liverpool, who are obviously a fantastic counter-attacking side. Liverpool, though they weren't at their best in that game, they did carve them open on the counter-attack and could have had more than the 2 goals. They won that game 2-1. I look at Southampton's, their only win they got so far. They won at Brighton 2-0. Brighton had a player sent off. That horror tackle from Florian Andone in that game really handed Southampton the initiative. They weren't that great in that game, 11v11. I think this is a tough game for Southampton. I think Man United, this is the time for them to bounce back, and I think they'll have a very good away record by the end of the season.
There we go then. 6 picks this week for the Acca Backer. Let us know who you're backing down in the comments section below. Please do give this video a like on YouTube as well, and subscribe for free for all of our other fantastic content as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.